What is most why the F*******? Do you know that fact? If you shake, jangle your keys at a moth. It will do a backflip, it's a defense mechanism. Edit. Grammar. Edit. Thank you. This was the last, and apparently best ever, thing I said before I went to bed. The last person who died building the Hoover Dam was the son of the first person who died building it. MLB umpires are required to wear black underwear in case their pants split during a game. Fidel Castro loved dairy so much that he invested in trying to breed a cow that could survive in the climate of Cuba and still produce a lot of milk. He failed over and over for years until one day a cow that was exactly to his specifications. She produced obscene, record-breaking amounts of milk even for a regular cow and could live in Cuba's sweltering climate. There were regular updates on her health in the Cuban national newspaper, and he loved her so much that when she died he erected a huge marble statue of her in her honor. Horses can masturbate by hitting their 70 cm long dong against their bellies. Many deaths in the Middle Ages resulted from pigs wandering into peasant homes and eating babies out of their cradles. Necropants are a pair of pants made from the skin of a dead man, which are believed in Icelandic witchcraft to be capable of producing an endless supply of money. Not only is an elephant's penis prehensile, it's strong enough to throw a grown man around. You can fit times 8,250 lb** intact, human bodies, supine, in the back of a 2001 Subaru Outback wagon. Fold down the back seat and toss them in. Source. Moved training dummies for an Army first aid class. Got pulled over because a hand was out and reaching. Sheriff walked up, saw the dummies, laughed and told me to have a nice day after explaining the call. Edit. After talking to a buddy who helped me unload them and going over the math. He thinks the dummies weighed closer to 185 pounds than 250 pounds. Edit 2. They were close to 250 pounds after kit and such was applied to the dummy. Everyone who is so angry can calm down and stop yelling at me. It was 7 years ago or so if I remember correctly. I've had a few blows to the head since then and the memory isn't what it once was. Edit 3. To everyone making this about race. No, I'm not black or white. I'm Latino. Julius Caesar's soldiers used sing a marching song about how much Caesar liked it up the ass. Edit. Thanks for all the awards, smile, white flag, rainbow. Probably not what you're looking for, but 1 pound of sugar per 1,000 pounds of concrete will ruin the concrete and it will never set firm. Hedgehogs shit when they run fast, therefore if Sonic the Hedgehog was real he would shite himself to death. Edit. These were my first awards, I cannot thank you kind people enough. The defense mechanism of the sea cucumber is to eject its toxic internal organs out of its anus, causing the predator to eat them and die. Also they reproduce by having the female shoot out the egg cell and the male shooting the sperm at it. The Itoro people of Papua New Guinea believe that their gods gave their tribe a finite amount of semen in ancient times. And they have passed on their stockpile of precious semen from man to boy for generations since. It takes approximately 140 bananas, in one sitting, to kill someone. Licking marshmallows and sticking them on a car on a night below freezing will cause the marshmallows to adhere so strongly that if they are removed while still frozen they will take the car paint with them. Edit. If not of. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was a really popular novel. And was made into a stage play. The actor playing the eponymous roles was so good at switching from the good doctor to the evil Hyde that people wrote to the police claiming that he absolutely had to be the real Jack the Ripper, who was thought likely to be a qualified doctor based on the way he dissected his victims. They thought no normal person would be able to make such a transformation. 3 barleycorns laid end to end as the basis for the inch. Pigeons sing in 5/4 and 17/8 time signature. If you feel the need to stab someone, stab oranges. They're the same consistency as human flesh. Edit. Thank you to all the doctors, nurses and tattoo artists who replied to this. A friend of my dad's randomly told me this when I was a kid and I had so many questions. Male hedgehogs masturbate for pleasure and you have to be careful picking them up because sometimes they have semen on their feet. It's something you have to look out for when you're a hedgehog owner like myself. Redheads require more anesthesia drugs to remain unconscious during surgery. If you need to hide a body, the best way to do it is to remove the hands and teeth to prevent identification. If they can't identify the body, they can't possibly link the victim to you since they don't know who they are, and dispose of them elsewhere. You can also pour yogurt into the anus to help speed up the decomposition process, further preventing identification. If you must bury the body, make sure to bury them vertically, as aerial searches will look for disturbed ground about 6 feet or so long. Also, bury a dead animal about a foot on top of the dead body so when cadaver dogs will alert, they will find the dead animal and the searchers will assume it was a false positive, then move on. Edit. Holy shit. Thank you guys. I would like to clarify some things. First of all, I am a woman. Second of all, the reason why I know all this was back when I was a teenager up until my early 20s I was determined to write a novel. One that involved death and murder and all that wonderful stuff. That never happened obviously. But while I was researching for said novel, I learned about some of the things mentioned above. I already know I might be on an FBI list. Or several. I am actually quite docile in real life and I don't think I'm capable of killing anybody or dismembering any dead bodies, or for certain I don't think I have it in me to harm animals either. Someone on Reddit said this on a post. Rats constantly leave a trail of urine while dragging their tails. You can follow the trail with a UV light. Otters hold hands while they sleep so they don't float away. They also rape baby seals to death and keep going for 2 hours until the heat is gone from the body. The last wild cow died in Krakow, Poland in 1952. Edit. A WP article states this date is actually Poland in 1627. Apologies to any cow historians. You can neutralize the smell of a rotting corpse by covering it with the ashes of a common campfire. Any wood ash should work. Friends. Saddam Hussein wrote a romance novel. In order to get bones really white it's best to leave them in bucket of hydrogen peroxide, ideally between 3 to 6% for a minimum of 48 hours. Or up to a week. It's easy to buy online. But not so easy to buy in large quantities, as it can also be used to make bombs. Edit. Whoa, my first award. Thanks. An important predator to the Canadian moose is the killer whale. The moose will swim over sea straits and get picked off by the killer whales. If you put a needle into the gum line between the 7th and 8th tooth you'll hit a nerve that runs past your nose and up to behind your eye. Hitting this nerve causes excruciating pain that no painkiller will help you with. You'll basically need to be given local anesthetic or put in an induced coma to stop feeling it. Ducks will fuck anything. Girl ducks. Dude ducks. Dead ducks. Blue ducks. Heck, even a dog if it doesn't fight back. An orgasm can stop hiccups. Bruh. Most of these facts are about animal penises. During sex, a whale can ejaculate up to 100 gallons of semen. It would only take about a month and a half to collect enough shed skin cells to completely replace the flour in a traditional pound cake recipe. About 438 grams. We shed about 9 pounds of dead skin each year. And 438 grams is only 966 pounds. So at a rate of 75 pounds of skin per month you would only need a way to collect shed skin for a little over 5 weeks. Being high in protein, your skin flour should have a consistency close to a bean flour and can be used in a similar way to make a pound cake. It would take between 5 and 6 weeks to make a skin cake. A male giraffe will taste the urine of a female to know if she's fertile. America dropped extra-large condoms labeled small into Soviet territory to make the Russians feel bad. Edit. Sorry if I didn't explain it enough in detail. People in the comments have given some corrections. But y'all get the gist. I broke my collarbone and had to have physical training to strengthen it. They had me squeeze some equipment to measure my grip strength. I hit 140 pounds. He said, holy crap, that's great. You know, it only takes 50 pounds to strangle someone. My first question was why the **, do you know that? Rams are about the same size as football players. The iconic curled horns of a male bighorn sheep can weigh up to 30 pounds. Which is more than all the bones in his body combined. From head to tail, rams usually fall somewhere between 5 to 6 feet long. And they tend to tip the scales at 260 to 280 pounds. Occasionally exceeding 300 pounds. The kangaroo is the only animal whose testicles are located above his penis. As for why I know this, I went down a YouTube rabbit hole one day and found a video which answered all the questions I didn't know I had about the pouches that female kangaroos have for their babies. At one point, the guy who made the video, who's American, was feeling around trying to find the pouch in a kangaroo. He couldn't find it, but commented that something felt weird. Later, he was talking to a local who shared that wonderful nugget of information. And suddenly it all made sense what he was feeling that felt so weird. I have more weird tidbits about kangaroo generalist, by the way, but that one is definitely my favorite. In Jaisalmer, Rajasthan, India, female infanticide is completely common. As soon as the unwanted baby's born, they pack her nose and mouth with sand and bury her under a tree. Then tie a small white rag in the tree as a makeshift memorial. Explained to me, very matter-of-factly, with little emotion, by a mother who had suffocated and buried 2 daughters before having a son. Yay. No dowry to save up for. India today, infanticide 2,500 per day. All mammals over the weight of 3 kilograms take approximately 21 seconds to pee. Whether that be a house cat, a horse or an elephant. Edit. Thank you for my first and second awards. Nobody knew how the fuck eels reproduce until 2015. You can substitute blood for eggs in any recipe. 65 grams of blood can be used in place of 1 regular egg. Dolphins have been known to tear the heads off fish and use their corpses as cocksleeves to masturbate. They also chew pufferfish to get high. The Hawaiian state fish is called a humuhumunukunukuapua'a. I tried to date a Hawaiian girl in high school. It's amazing the stuff you can remember when you're a horny 17-year-old. A whale dick is the size of a human. Imagine this. You're walking down the road. And you see a car crash. Someone gets out of a car. And you realize it's someone you know. So you call their name. They turn. And crumple to the ground. What happened? They dislocated a bone in their neck. And when they turned their neck, they fully snapped it. There's a bunch of stories of this happening to people. Which is very scary. Edit. It was a fracture, not dislocation. My apologies. An opossum penis bifurcates into a Y shape. It urinates and ejaculates out of both of them. Snakes have 2 penises. Echidnas have a 4-headed one. Our local landfill will take your loved one's body and dispose of it for $35. Probably the most innocent fact here, but chickens, hens, have an egg song when they lay an egg. It's like them yelling, "I just laid an egg. Woo." And then the other hens chime in yelling, "Yaas, she just laid an egg. Woo." In ancient Rome, having a large penis resulted in being ridiculed. It was thought the bigger the penis, the dumber and more brutish you were. In other words, I would have been the smartest man in Rome. Edit. My 2 top comments are about penises. God damn it. Urine is historically one of the biggest exports that Newcastle, UK ever had. It was used for a variety of purposes, especially for making ammonia to make paint. That child marriage is legal in certain parts of the US. People as young as 11 would get married off to grown adults by their parents. This voids the age of consent, and in many places they're not allowed to file for divorce until they come of age. Meaning they're stuck powerless with some sick abusive child molester by law. This got some attention a couple years back, but it's still allowed in some states. And from what I can tell, most people forgot again. If you ask me, this should be the biggest concern in America right now. This is what we should be asking the presidential candidates, how they intend to end this. Edit. So some people seem caught up on the fact that I stated that this should be the biggest issue. Mentioning that COVID and Black Lives Matter is more relevant right now. So first of all, there are a lot of important issues that need to be addressed in this country. Many I also care deeply about. However, where on your list is it time to address the US government's authorization of people raping children? Like 5th, 6th on your list, or? The fact that it has ever existed, let alone pushed aside, is a stain on this country. Especially since of all the many problems we have, this is probably the most bipartisan issue I can think of and the quickest to solve. Sadly, we will never live in a world where we can promise that no child will ever be raped again. But we can ensure that we seek justice whenever it happens. And we damn sure shouldn't condone it. A sock over a baseball bat is a really effective home defense weapon. If they grab the bat, the sock will make the bat slip out of their grasp and you can continue beating them until they get out. Lice are the human equivalent of fleas. But unlike other species, humans have different types that are exclusive to different parts of the body: head lice, body lice and pubic lice. Head lice and body lice have always lived on humans, from way back to when we had more hair on our entire bodies. As we evolved and lost most of that hair, some lice favored our head hair to the remnants of our body hair, choosing to live and lay eggs there. And body lice migrated to our clothing and bedding, choosing only to feed on us then leave. But pubic lice is different. Look at photos of public lice and they even appear very different from head and body lice. That's because they adapted to live on humans. They didn't originate there. And the closest relative of public lice are gorilla lice. About 3–4 million years ago they shared an ancestor. Humans and gorillas' last shared ancestor was over 7 million years ago. Make of that what you will. Hentai frequently depicts monsters having sex with women because of Japanese pornography laws. Sex between a man and a woman is porn and considered indecent. But sex between a human and an alien monster does not fit the definition. So it gets by. 1st of January. 100,000 is Thursday. That in World War II the United States designed bat bombs. Basically canisters filled with bats strapped with incendiary devices. The idea was that you drop them over a Japanese city, which were largely wood structures at the time. The bats roost in attics and so on. Then after a certain amount of time they detonate. An elephant's testicles are inside its body. So predators don't have an easy snack. If they hung down, it's a quick and simple snack that's just hanging down in front of them. Mark Wahlberg was born with 3 nipples. If you squeeze a male's testicles hard enough, the adrenaline overload can kill him. Do with that information as you wish. Rubbing alcohol has methanol and isopropanol, both really toxic for humans, put in it on purpose because without them, it would be subject to the taxes they put on drinkable alcohol. If you are a constipated biological female, you can insert a finger in your vagina and push down to force poop out. Human flesh tastes like pork. Bees can vibrate their bodies super fast, which produces a lot heat. In order for a hive to defend themselves from intruders like wasps, they will dogpile the wasp while vibrating and it will eventually cook the wasp alive. Edit. Here's another weird bee fact I know. After mating, a male bee's penis will explode and then they die. A raccoon can fit into a hole 4 inches wide. Your rectum is on average 2.5 inches wide but can stretch to 8 inches wide without any permanent damage. A raccoon can literally crawl up your asshole. Don't ever underestimate raccoons. If you have a shrimp allergy, you also can't eat cicadas. Turtles breath out their butts. Arigato is Japanese for thank you. Obrigado is Portuguese for thank you. Portugal was the first European country to really make meaningful contact with Japan, which was the easternmost heavily populated region in Asia. Portugal happens to be the westernmost country in Europe. The 2 words, arigato and obrigado, are linguistically completely unrelated. Those 2 very similar words developed in completely isolated contexts on opposite ends of the world's largest landmass. And they mean the same thing. If you want to get a tiger to eat a body, cover it in salmon oil. Rasputin had a 13-inch penis. That penis is preserved in a Russian museum. Squirrels need to fall 4,800 miles to die because it gives them long enough to starve. This is because they can survive their terminal velocity. 1 horsepower equals about 300 duck power. An average mallard duck can carry 250 grams or 0.25 kilograms. 1 horsepower equals 75 kilogram vertically 1 meter per second. 75 kilograms, 0.25 kilogram equals 300. Thinking logically, you need 300 ducks lifting 0.25 kilogram in the same direction to equal 1 HP. I'm sure everyone has seen that thread of someone making up a duck power conversion scale. But because I have nothing else to do with my life, I figured out the actual conversion. You need approximately 23.6 kilograms of anthracite coal to burn an average human male, 80 kilograms, at cremation temperatures. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like. If you would like to see more content like this in the future, subscribe and turn on notifications to be notified about future videos. Now check out one of these interesting videos.